Hello, my lovely people. Welcome and welcome back. Catch the sun. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can continue to catch the vibe. You guys, we are going to talk today about relationships because I feel like a lot of people have relationships confused these days. They really don't understand what a relationship is, whether it's platonic, romantic, or professional, right? I feel like a lot of people don't understand that human connection, partnerships, relationships, alliances, so to speak, are not permanent. They're one of the most impermanent things that we can ever have in our life, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that because a lot of people I feel struggle with possession, or it kind of feels like it stems from a lack mentality type of thing, but it's more so like possession, wanting to possess other people, wanting to have things, kind of like that only child syndrome that a lot of people have suffered from because they didn't learn really how to share. Okay, but relationships are not forever. Relationships are not something that will never change. I think a lot of people struggle with that right now. And I'm seeing, just the trends. And I'm kind of wanting to talk about this because of the trends and how we see like these dating shows like, what is it? Love at First Sight, Married at First Sight. What's that other show? Love is Blind, Love Island. Like, we've been seeing love shows for a very long time since reality TV has been a thing. And not just love shows, but like we see celebrity relationships play out, and we see, people in the public eye, and they have a lot of like issues with relationships. And not only that, but we see our families, we see our parents, we see our siblings, we see ourselves kind of go through things in relationships. And I feel like a lot of the reasons why so many people go through relationships and have like a negative experience, and I'm included in this because this is something that I've had to kind of learn and adapt to myself. But I feel like a lot of us have bad experiences because we don't understand what a relationship really is. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you, this is a good example or metaphor as to how you can look at relationships to gain the most from it, to understand it, and to not be totally broken down by a relationship or the way a relationship turns out, okay? Look at it like this. Relationships are like meals, right? And y'all might laugh at me, but hear me out, okay? Sometimes you gotta let me cook, and you gotta eat with me and chill and relax and pay attention. Relationships are like meals, okay? When you eat something, you taste it, right? You taste your food, you enjoy and savor the flavors, you observe the different textures of the food, and then you absorb it, right? You eat your meal, you absorb all those different things as you're eating, and then your body absorbs the nutrients of the meal through the digestive system, right? And I'm not a doctor or a psychologist, so please don't take this as medical advice, but that's what a meal consists of. However, that's not it. That's not all, okay? After you absorb the meal and your body gains all of the nutrients, what happens? You shit that bitch out, okay? That is how you need to look at relationships. Relationships are not a thing where you're going to keep the contents of it in you or on you or with you for your entire life. That's ignorant. That's unrealistic, really. And a lot of people think, marriage or promises or having kids and things like that, it is somewhat permanent. There's a level of permanence to it, but you never really own anyone. I don't get this whole thing about people thinking that they own people and feeling entitled to people's energy forever. That's some bullshit. It's not realistic. You never really own anyone. You never really belong to anyone forever. And here go the cat distribution system, working its magic. Cat distribution. I see you. What you doing? You just came out from under the car? That's where you be sleeping? I see you. Listen, but you don't really own people. And, actually, you shouldn't want to, because that's a very possessive, kind of controlling, borderline, weird, cuckoo, crazy thing to do or want to do anyway. But people don't understand when it comes to relationships that that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at a relationship as a meal. You meet the person, right? You get to know the person. You absorb who it is that they are. You figure out who it is that they are. And, you experience their personality. You experience their experiences. That's why you got to be careful, who you lay with and who you mate with and things like that. Look at the cat distribution system. Ridiculous. Okay? You got to be careful who you deal with on those levels, because you never know what, energetic fingerprints or footprints that somebody has on them. So you got to be careful who you lay with. But I digress. I think I did a video about that. I'm not sure if it's out yet, but it will be, child, if it's not. But you have to remember, when it comes to, here go this loud man with this U-Haul thing. He about to go over a speed bump, and it's going to be loud. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. But when you think about no? Okay. When you think about relationships, you cannot have this attitude of negativity when it comes to a relationship coming to an end or a situation dissolving between you and another person, because all that does is prevent you from being able to properly defecate. Okay? We're going to use a scientific term. It doesn't allow you to properly process the meaning of the relationship, the meaning of the connection. And people get so stuck on what someone else has done or said, or even me, when I think about all of the situations that I've been through with my ex-husband and my youngest son's father, when I think about how much time I spent and how much time I wasted mulling and hashing and rehashing all of the things that these people have done, albeit negative and pretty fucked up. Good, how you doing? It's just a waste of time, right? So when it comes to you thinking about your relationships and what you're possibly going through with people, try to think of it as this meal. You meet a person, like I was saying, you get to know them, you absorb their personality, you absorb their experiences, and then you have that moment of digestion. You have that moment of processing the meal, processing the person, having the experience of being full when it comes to the experience as a whole, being in a relationship. And then you defecate. You shit it out. Sometimes, it was a B. Sometimes things run its course. Sometimes relationships don't last. Sometimes you're only meant to be with a person for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And sometimes that lifetime is not what we consider to be a lifetime, but it's certain cycles in your life. Certain cycles in our lives are, defined by experiences that we have. For example, if, when you're growing up, you have your childhood. That is a particular section of your life. And you may have your parents, you may have siblings and things like that. And the people who you encounter or who you have relationships with, they may transfer into the next cycle, which is your teenage years, your formative years, the years where you are in high school and then go to college and you're a young adult. And those people may still be in your life, but the way that your relationship is with those people may change or adapt. But then you become an adult, and that's another cycle of your life where you are not necessarily a young adult, but you're not elderly, and that's another cycle of your life. God damn, you loud. Jeez. Just loud for no reason, right? But as you have these different cycles of life, you experience different things. Some of you may start families and have children. Some of you may experience loss of people who you care for. Some of you may experience a great deal of travel and equestrianism or whatever, like where you just travel around and things like that. Some of you may experience a time of education where you learn more things and you do more things. But different people are put in your life for your experience to benefit from in different ways, just as you are placed in other people's lives to benefit their experience in some way, shape, or form. But I cannot stand when people feel as if, looking at I can stand it because I can understand. And it's not like I think anything is wrong with people who see relationships a certain way. I just feel like it's not productive for you as an individual. So if you've come to this video, more than likely, you may be dealing with a challenging relationship situation. You could be dealing with a situation where you're trying to understand and rationalize and grapple with the reason that a person has come into your life, or a reason the person has left your life, or why you had to deal with some type of loss or negativity. And this is what it is. It's the fact that whatever you're going through right now, or whatever you were going through in the time that you were with or around or in the presence of said person, whether they're a friend or a family member or a lover, you needed that person and they needed you. And whatever you experienced is a major piece of the puzzle that your creator wants you to recognize when it comes to either your growth and development and how you've evolved, or what you've learned about the world, right? The flies, it's ridiculous. It's a lot of people trying to get in the way of what I'm saying, but it's okay, because we're still gonna say it anyway. But I just want y'all to know that, because a lot of times you will hurt yourself more the more that you feel as if, I wish I would have never been in this relationship, or I wish this situation would have never happened. What you have to understand is that if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't have happened. Even if it's something positive that you feel when it comes to a connection with a person, and then you feel like you lost that feeling, if it wasn't meant to happen, it wouldn't have happened. So never underestimate the power of synchronicities, which appear as coincidences, but there is no such thing. There's no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing as happenstance. Things happen strategically. Things happen, what's the word I'm looking for? Intentionally in your life. And nothing is a mistake. Nothing is for no reason. And nothing comes without knowledge and wisdom. And the sooner you're able to understand that, especially about the relationships that you're in, the sooner I feel you as an individual will be able to make peace with your life and have peace within yourself when it comes to the ways that you've chosen to live your life. No one is perfect, okay? No one has all the answers, not even me. I say that all the time to the people who I work with. No one has all the answers. I don't even have all the answers. And when it comes to having all the answers, you got to be careful with that, because, the most foolish person is the person who thinks they know everything. The wisest person is the person who understands that they know nothing. So when it comes down to these relationships, I just get tired of seeing people so hooked on content or propaganda that highlights or triggers your negative emotions about relationships. I get sick of seeing that, because it feels like such a scam. It feels like such manipulation. I get sick and tired of people using people's pain and heartbreak for profit and monetization. I can't stand it. And I want you guys and those of you who may find this video to understand that that's not how you should be looking at a situation. That's not how you should be living your life, in a state of like fear or in a state of feeling lack, or as if you know, are less than a person because you're not in a relationship. It's a lot of people who are in a lot of relationships that they're very unhappy in. It's a lot of people who are in relationships that they're wanting to leave behind or get rid of. The goofiest bitches. Can I see if I can get these bitches on camera? The goofiest bitches I've ever seen. Wait. I don't know. I don't know where they went. My bad. I probably shouldn't have done that, but sometimes, you know, I can't help but to be petty. But let me stop because I don't want to be petty. I don't know. I just feel like you never know if the grass is really greener on the other side. And the best way that you can attract a partner into your life, or someone who you can grow from and enjoy the company of and be in a relationship with, the best way that you can attract that is by allowing the most true and authentic version of yourself to show through. That's really all you can do. And the people who are going to love you, let them love you. Whether they're, again, romantic, platonic, or professional. The people who are going to love you, let them love you. The people who don't really care for you, it's okay. It's really all good. Like, it's not that big of a deal, because you may have a strong feeling for someone, but you don't understand where that feeling stems from. And there could be some ancestral roots and ties that cause the attraction between you and that person that you don't actually know could be negative until you get into it and you start to experience that relationship. So there's a whole lot of, you know, very spiritual and naturally rooted things that go into these situations. But just be yourself. Just understand who you are. Understand the perspective of life that shows you the temporariness of life, but also in the same token, the beauty of it because of that. Because if we had things that lasted forever, if we lived forever, if we had relationships that just went on and on and on and on forever, if we always had everything we need, and I always go back to The Sims because y'all know I love playing The Sims. But if we always had like endless motherlode, cheat money, and everything that we needed, it would take all of the beauty and the joy and the fun and the excitement and the satisfaction out of life. And that's the same thing with relationships. If you had it perfect, and if everything always went well, and if you were always, I don't know if that's a bee or a fly, y'all, but if you were always like just getting everything that you wanted in relationships, you would be extremely unfulfilled and unhappy. Trust me on that. And there are times where you may be extremely unfulfilled and unhappy with the relationships you have now, but the fact that you know that it can get better, and then you've experienced how bad it can be, or you've experienced something that you know you don't want, and you have the hope and the faith and the dreams to experience something that you do want, I feel that it creates a really well-rounded experience, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I love you. I really appreciate all of you guys' support of the channel. Get in the comments, let me know what you think about relationships and about my metaphor, because it's true. It's like relationships are like a good meal. Taste the flavors, you absorb the food, and then you shit that shit out, okay? So let's start to look at it through different eyes, so that we can be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, you guys. And I think there's a bee around me, so I'm gonna go, but y'all be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.